I'm going to trade the 1 minute chart on this British pound after it fell through the floor because it's a chance to run the same scripts, which have super tight stops compared to a 250 pip drop and just fall out of bed there. So I'm on the 1 minute chart, and it's as if that never happened. So if you're not looking left right now, you're not going to be distracted by that. You're just going to take the signals you see here. But trust me, we're above the low of the day. So we're kind of in the middle of fair value. Bounced about 100 pips. We've pulled back 38 pips. But so I got the 5 minute chart up here on the left, and I got the 1 minute chart on the right. So I don't want to rewrite all the scripts, so I just kind of run these and just run them last off. And so this is going to buy 2, 3, 4 pips deep with a stop here. And this is going to buy really deep for like, I think, an hour. And then here's the buy stops. So here's my scalp. This is a 6K, 6K, 6K. Here is the, so I'm going to stream them out, and I'm going to go all the way across the keyboard there to number 10, which I set at 70 because of where we're at now. If I want to put a swing trade in on top of this bank, it would just be key number 10 now. I've reprogrammed to get in and get out at 70 pips of winning. And I made the stop 25 pips on the last key to accommodate for the, so if this is your swing key, which I just think in terms of my pinky's market order, and then I go limit, limit, limit. If I see a plunge coming, I buy a little bit of the market, throw the limits out in front, walk away. Just let that thing play out. And then gauge what the volatility is to which scripts you can run if they're hard-coded, like double-click. So ultimately, you want to end up at a double-click world because, yeah, you can hand-play stuff, but you kind of want to take advantage of, if you're going to babysit the market, that you could buy at the market. If it's down for 5 minutes, buy one. Put limits below, I'm presupposing you want to buy. And then same on the sell side, throwing sell limits up there, selling as it goes up every 15 minutes, sell. You have a trade plan for 15 minutes up, 20 when the market moves 20 to 25 pips or 10 to 20 pips up, sell at the market on the 15-minute chart. It's dumb, right? It could matter, if you're in a downtrend, yeah, you're selling every pullback, any place you can jump on that train. So having your gun set to a BB gun, but with more powder than you can imagine, you can do a lot of damage. I got to believe that if you just sat there and just kept drilling somebody with a BB machine gun, which they sell that, can you imagine putting in some barbed BBs in that? I'm not suggesting that to anybody, but like there's ways to get around stuff, right? So the idea that you're going to walk into the room with a missile launcher, it's overkill. Besides, the market's so volatile, you just couldn't afford to do it. So look at this thing crushing. Look at this thing pulling back. Okay, so we're pulling back again, and what's the trade plan every minute here? Well, you could either put a buy stop in, so we could go like this, buy stop. This is really aggressive. I'm putting in, that's a 2K, I mean, that's a 10K right there on these two. Okay, now we wait, right? Now there's nothing. I wouldn't touch it. Now you put limits in your own risk here, so I'm going to hit this key right now. It's the so I haven't rewrote anything but that last key right now. So I'm running the scripts I put up there. The C's are buys and the A's are sell. Now I never wrote the sells. You'd have to do that yourself. You have to write it to what you perceive to be a risk. So you could buy at the market now, or you could wait till they fill these limits. So I'm wait till they fill my limits, and I'll put trailing buy stops on it above. But I'm usually trading so aggressive in these videos because they're just trying to demonstrate what each button does. So these are buy stops, are coming into the limits. Now I'm going to buy, when they stop out this wick, I'm going to buy into that. Now I'm going to put buy stops on top. So I'm in a 5 standard lots. Okay, now I'm in to a 10K on that drop. Now you're done. That's a 1 minute chart. You practice launching each individual trade plan style. This rally back here, You had 3 minutes to get on this train back here. Okay, this is if you really want to make money, you got to just drill down and have a 1 minute chart and just trade really big, right? Because there's so many signals, right? I mean, look at this inverted hammer. You're selling up into this. This thing's on fire. Even if you didn't trade the breakout, the 250 pip drop on stupid goober trades and get slippage, who cares about fucking slippage? It just dropped 250 pips. Slippage. Stop with the slippage. Let's cut with the slippage on the L2, right? So, look at, is this resistance? Yeah, you're nailing that. You could nail that at the market. It's up hard. If it moves down hard, you buy. Okay, there's a little bounce. Okay, so now we're going to let this ride out. All right, so I'm going to stop buying now, see? So right here, I put a bunch of buy stops as we were coming down, which are really just market orders. I mean, it's ridiculous, but they're still trailing there. I got some bad ones at the top of the tree here. Now, this could have been the 4-hour button that I pushed. But realizing this is a 1 minute chart, if we swoop through that and we come crashing up into here, we're just going to dump, right? It doesn't matter that it's probably going to go up or down or what's the trend. We're just scalpers. On a 1 minute chart, let's presuppose that you have a trade plan every minute. What do I do? What do I put out there? And this market's on fire right now. I mean, we're swinging around about 20 pips. We've been up and down. Right, but just wouldn't. You could go to the 5 minute right now, but it's not going to help you on this chart. I'd say wait till this engulfs. You get to 128 even. So this is where I would scalp to, and then just throw in the, got to make it past this hurdle. But up into that, you could just say, oh, I'm happy to make $300 and just get out. So whether the account makes money or not is inconsequential to trying to demonstrate the execution of a script and when to pull that trigger and when to let the market drift, when to let it play out. So that's, and just trading one currency here too, you can assess your results. Just trade one currency, have scalp swings built in. In a way, these hotkeys, if you know what's under the hood of each hotkey, it's a better way to trade. As far as if you come up to the keyboard and you hit all 10 keys, you're risking $100 or $85 if you hit all 10 keys. And you can walk away and just think, oh, I'll just wait another hour and risk another $80 to make another whatever. You're trying to, get some 3x, triple your account, if only for a millisecond. And only for like 5 minutes, whatever it is. Today it could have been milliseconds. You could have made thousands, right? If you just bracketed like a goober and just had sell stops as we marched up the wall of worry on the British pound. I mean, right? It's getting to a drift up. Everybody should have got out if they were trading the drift up before the news came out. Unless you had really tight stops. In that case, you get slippage there, and you could whine like a girl, like a girly boy as your broker, but. So right now, I'm looking for the dollar to go down. Here's coming into the last session, and they're going to open up there in Japan. I can't imagine what the guppy's doing, but that's got to be off the rails. See, but I wouldn't look at that. See, if I had to go look at the guppy right now, then I wouldn't be able to keep track of the ATRs that I'm trading. So trading, if you're trading the 1 minute chart, what do you care about the guppy right now, right? So you can't. You could have, you could have it on another account, another computer, but you kind of got to pick a thing. I always thought, well, I had to pick a time frame. Well, not necessarily, because you have to pick a pip frame. I thought it was time frame, but you could trade the 1 minute chart now with the scripts you would normally run on the 1 hour chart because the volatility is off the rails, right? And you can see the setups quicker. It's obvious what's going on a 1 minute chart. You know what you should do, like when you should not press a button and when you should. So all that stuff spelled out. So the British pound's starting to retrace, and I stopped buying. So the whole time down here, I stacked up buy stops. Now, when we come back up through this top, if we go retrace right now, then I get filled. And then I put the euro on the daily here, and I'm putting a big monster buy limits deep here. So this will be for the death of 1,000 cut entry. So this is how to catch a falling knife, and we're prepared to buy if the euro drops more. So we could scalp the euro if we wanted, right? But now we have two things going, and we're going to kind of lose a little traction as far as getting. But we can see a buy stop here, right? It's down. We're looking to fill. That's just a scalp. That's 6K. Like, let that thing go out. Now these guys will move in concert sometimes, and you got to figure that the sell-off in the pound spills over into the euro, and okay, so maybe we get filled here. You're going to compromise some of your profits if you're really trying to drill down and focus and trade heavy on one currency. The spread on the euro, though, is so tight that you can trade heavier, right? You can see the patterns easier. It's a smoother market. The British pound is widespread, very volatile. This is pretty much like T-notes here on the right. So it's both 1 minute chart, right? So people are asking about the line. You have to go to your properties and say chart on foreground. If I do chart on foreground, it's going to put the moving average. The bars will go on top of your moving average signal. It's a structure. It's price over time. This is GAN. GAN is price over time. People are overcomplicating all this stuff because they really like the I don't know. They want to just show off their ego, I guess. But or their knowledge, right? Their ego wants to show off their knowledge. So just chart on foreground. Turn that off. Okay, no more. Maybe a buy here because you have low ATR the last candle. Buy stops. I'm actually just putting in. These are actually breakouts. I don't have. Here's my buy at the market, which I should have bought. I got that set really heavy right now, so I didn't want to so-called blow up the account. So we're waiting for retracements on these guys. And then when you get to a certain amount of money in your account, you're like, oh my God, I'll take that. You can get out because you know it's so easy to get back in trouble. Just put some more orders in, or just buy at the market. Dump 100, dump 10 standard lots. Come back in and buy a 10K. You'll just think, oh, this is easy. Yeah, because you can get in for a little bit of a something, but then you realize, you know, make $5 on that trade. But then you're like, oh my God, I can put another order bank in. I just made so much money. I can just keep on, like here, like it's going lower now. So maybe that's it. Now, at this point, I'm going to put in buy stops because it's down. I got a buy signal. Same thing here. Now, if you didn't have it set to make those 3 pips that we just saw rally over here, then you got to have that built in, that you're just going to make that. See, the spread is about 10% of that move. Honestly, you would have had to buy right down here and nail it. You got 1, 2 buys in 2 minutes you bought into this, plus you had possibly limits here and limits running in front. So here I could put in this. If I run this script right now over here, okay, the limit script, see, it's too much. It's too much. See, they're filling it. So it's too close. See that? See the volatility over here, pound? I know the news just came out, but that doesn't matter. It's just vicious. Now, you got to put in buy stops here. I'm going to get in. But see, the buy limits, if I gauge those right, I did not blow them out. So this is on the 1 minute chart, you can see the euro dollar is the best thing for scalpers, right? This is like swing trading on the 1 minute chart. Look at this. Now we go for a psycho in golf or something. Who knows? And here comes the clock, right? Oh, now we're plunging over here. So I may get filled on these limits. All right. Something's going to happen at the top of the hour here. People are coming in. The world wants some of the pound. It's on sale. So big spike down there. And this thing's off the rails going through the floor too. This is below 112 right now. Okay, we're just looking for momentum to enter. So you can hedge your by buying some. You could buy this at the market and scalp this right now. Let the pound drop into the limits. So the difference between the C3 key on this chart, so if you take off all your graphics here, all your arrows, and now you go to run the same script on each chart. That's the exact same script. 1 minute chart, right? Which one looks like it's a little bit too close? This is why people get killed trading. They go to the other currency pair and they're like, yeah, I made so much money trading the euro, I think I'll go trade the pound. Okay, good luck. Right, good luck, right? So it's a pretty vicious market. Here I'm going to put buy stops in again. New lows. Retesting the low from the election right now. Okay, so we're loading up here with the scalps, 6Ks. Buy at the market. Depending on how fast your brokers here, buying stops. Wow. Amazing. Okay, we're going to go right through the floor, I think, here. On the British pound, maybe? No? Hard to say. Okay, we're going to buy at the market on the euro. We'll put in buy stops for the scalp 6Ks. Now we're going to put in long-term 70 pip winners on the, because we did not take out the low of the day. So this is just the top of the hours coming, and there's a huge frenzy. So you could have sold and made about 70 pips. 100 pips you'd be up right now if you had sold about, 2 hours ago? Or you just made all those pips and you dumped and now you're reloading here. So I'm going to buy this pullback. And here I'm going to get in on the, I'm going to run a tight stop here on this guy. Now I could put the sells in too. You could put the sells in here too if you wanted to go with the down flow. Hedge your bet, right? Now I could put sell stops in here. I don't have the same calibration on these as I did on the other guys, so it's different. Okay. Okay, looking for a big rally in the euro here. Well, big for the euro. Let's see. And here it's buy stop city coming into. I just took out the lows, coming really close to the lows of the session. When the news came out, right to the round handle now. I'm going to put buy stops in on top. So here I'm going to put some short targets. And here I'm going to put short targets for those. So I'm going to buy at the market now. On the pound. Okay, hopefully. Now I got to stop buying here as soon as it starts coming up. I can come over here and trade now. Put some buy stops in here if we get some follow through. Okay. Looking for another plunge. So I'm going to put buy limits really deep. But I'm also going to put buy stops on top in case we never go down there. So I know this key is going to get in super deep, and this one's going to work fit. You can just see the top of C3 key here. So it depends how big you're in. So he comes into these things, let him stop you out, and just get back in on, different tickets. So buy stops in this, and I still got a buy signal over here. Could go right through the floor at any minute and get another smash down. Okay, this is the C3 key. This is C4, which is super deep. So C4 is pretty outlandish. Here I'm going to put in the limits, C2 key. That's 2468 pips deep there. Okay, now buy stops. Now the top of the hour is coming. We could get a reversal here. So that 5-minute window was our buying window here for that. Now we just not touch it and wait to see if we get a rally, or we get filled on more buy limits. So that's it. Let's wait. So here comes the top of the hour, and if we size the euro right, we're scalping out of that. We're padding the account. We're going to ride the possibility that the British pound is going to play catch up. So we came within about 20 pips, about 10 pips of the low from the election here. So huge smash down. 5-minute chart is just a perfect wedge. So this is your, we're looking for the vacuum to fill on the upside here. So I'm not looking at how much money I'm making at this point. I'm really looking at, am I doing the right thing for the right time? Now you could be hitting the cash you could be cashing out right now. If you're really up, you get cashing out, right? If you're waiting, if you have the cash outs have already built in and you've already see the margin reducing and your risk is going away, and you realize that, okay, you're going to play the drift, you've scaled out incrementally, and you could reload with limits now. So I could say, well, you know, I'm not in big enough on this. If it pulls back, I'm going to come in like this and buy this pullback. 2, 4, 6, 8 pips. And if I wait every minute to pull that trigger, you can see how they start to layer in. So there is a chance to always blow the account up, even if you're right about the direction. You can see that, and because you really, well, you want to be in a certain amount of margin of your account, and if your stops are X, then you know you're always risking X, and you don't have to worry. Now, top of the hour is come and gone. We could see a complete rally. 5 minutes from the top of the hour, we could probably come slamming back. That's just how these markets are. They're just vicious. In the top of the hour is a big deal. 5 minutes before and after coming into this time of day. Now you could just dump. You're up $350, right? It's too. I already got out of something because I went down to $1,200 of margin. So if you're skittish, you could dump just like you could have dumped at any point. It's not that you're missing out. You're missing out on profits. See, you're afraid people. That's why people want to run a trailing stop and they want to milk every inch out of a move, right? Yeah, not the best idea in a market that is completely off the rails all day long on some level. The market's psychotic, right? So here's your pullback. If you were trying to get in, you had 1 minute to pull the trigger there, but I'm already in, right? So that's a buy signal, but I'm not going to take it. You're a swing trader on this 1 minute chart too. You're putting in orders. There's scalps, but there's swing scalps. You're buying this plunge, and then you like sit back and, you know, waiting for it to go into a 1 minute trend, so to speak here. All we have to do go up like 10, 20 pips. For a lot of people, they're out. You know, if you're in super big right now, you're just out of that trade. Getting that sizing right, and for all the orders you got pending. But when it's going down, I'm buying, right? It's just easy. How big are you buying? That's the thing. And then how are you buying? How do you get in? Not what you get in, but how do you get in? Is on stops that are like 1 pip above, and you just ride the retrace, let the market, let the order flow, tag your stops, it streams out. You're trading big. Some of those are scalp designed. I put a video up called risk plans and script writing. So nobody likes that. They want you to make a market call, and we all know where the market's going. It's going up and down. It's how do we get into the ups and how do we get into the downs? How do we get in before the market goes up and down? How do we trade that breakout in such a way that we don't get trapped, right? We have to have that burst move to take something off the table. I'm really trading breakouts on a 15-minute chart. Anything past that, you should be might as well just buy at the market, or just buy like I am, just like 1 pip above, which is really market orders, right? I'm just doing it so I can donate the keyboard to other, like if I put in a buy 5 pips above, I don't even know if I want to chase the market that bad. I'd rather have the market come into my limits. That's the ultimate. I think that's when you say, gosh, you know, I'm waiting for the market to come to me on some, even a 1 pip level. Because buying at the market says, oh no, this is it. Now, like I said, if you limit it to the clock, here you had 1, 2, 3 buys on that. You should have bought every minute that was pulling back. 1 minute. Wait 30 seconds. Not, right? Here, the British pound, you had 1 minute to pull the trigger here, and you had low ATRs on that 1 minute bar back there. So you should have been in on that. Or you're holding. So you can use this like, you're holding. You could go to the 5 minute chart, but then what have you done to your system, right? So this, you want to go see the, so easy to get this girl, count this girl into being your, marrying you. You start thinking, this is easy, I'm going to go out and find some other women. Of course. I don't know, maybe that's why my relationships didn't work out, but the thing is you're like, damn, she's like hot, and that was easy. Like, can I go up the hot scale? And I'm sure for the girl, it's like, this guy doesn't have enough money. Like, he's broke. Surely with my looks, I can get a deeper wallet. So say I wanted to buy pullbacks here. I'm going to have to use the C2 key on this currency, and this one's going to need the C3 key because it's off the rails for the same pattern, right? For the same pullback plunge to the triangle. So a lot of times these markets, what they do is they retest this triangle down here, and the triangles jump out at you on the one on the 1 period moving average. If you can't see a triangle, then you just have to take like geometry classes. But click here. Who can't see this triangle, right? Right, this is it, right? A low volatility causes triangle, 2 trend lines convergence. So people say, oh, look, it broke out and fake out. See, I traded that trend line breakout and it trapped me. Here's the fork in the road, and there's the ATR. Everything comes together. So this is the pullback. You could have scalped to here, like on that pullback, you could have scalped that you're out, right? Now we're waiting to get filled on limits. Now we think, oh, you know what? Here's a top become a bottom on the 1 minute. Should we buy at the market? Okay, let's buy at the market. You just got to jump on it. And you don't know if that's going to work out. Here you're going to buy on stop, say, because you're like, well, I'll put a buy stop on the top of the 1 minute fractal. This guy goes up. This guy starts to come along for the party, right? You're kind of arbitraging between, probably the major pairs, right? Yeah, you can put the yen up there, but you know what? No, because this way it's the dollar is one item against these two, right? You can see the dollar against Europe here. So you could put buy stops, you could do correlation, right? You could just say, well, it's a dollar. The problem with current forex trading is you have a pair. You don't have a singularity, but here you would, right? You have the pound against the dollar, the euro against the dollar. It's a tripod. Let this guy go. Let this guy play catch up. You put the buy stops here. You buy at the market, right? You got a hammer. You buy at the market before the breakout of the next 1 minute chart, right? Okay, now we're going to ride this until we just took out. A lot of people are selling here now, but that's target for them. Here's the trend line. If you want to put a trend line here, you have to keep on redrawing them. 1 minute chart, keep you busy. So yeah, people say they can't trade the 1 minute chart, but you got to be really just taking little chunks. I mean, you really got to trade the way you would trade a normal chart. Okay, huge possible retrace coming here, blow your mind. So I guess we made a couple bucks there. I'm just kind of breaking even on this demo. I haven't blown it up. But that's not the point. The point is you have a trade plan for the ATRs. Now, you know the ATRs over here are just off the rails, right? I mean, this thing just went down 100 pips. It could go up 100. It could go up 300 pips tonight. But see, I've predefined my profit too. Unfortunately, I have 70. I put 70 pippers in there now. So I got the 70 pip targets in there too. So if I let the whole thing go, right, it's just 2 currency pairs. I actually have the other orders pending out there somewhere, but because I can't trade all those fucking. I don't know how people do it. Let's take a look at the euro to the Australian. What the fuck? Another thing with these empowered trading decks is they're just fucking people's heads up. Just stay on the euro and show people how to fucking trade already. Well, let's take a look at the New Zealand against the Turkish lira. What? Fuck these guys. God damn it, man. I'm sorry, it's just fucking sick, dude. It's like, come over here and 4 grand? You can't mean show me how to fucking trade? Not one fucking trade on there. We guys like live, come into our live trading room. They're like, well, let's see. Next week there could be a set. I'm on the 1 minute chart, bitch. Show me how to trade already. Okay, so hopefully we're getting out of something here. And of course, now you wish you were in bigger because you're up $500, right? Same story, different day. So greed is definitely a factor, and I could see the British pound taking out the high of the day, believe it or not. Believe it or not, we could engulf this whole drama. All these fucknut politicians, all these, you know, it's just ridiculous, right? So complete pullback. If you're looking at the big picture, this is nothing but a pullback. It might be a distant hammer next week in the British pound. Scalpers, I'm getting out right now. So I'm getting out right now, taking everything off the table. Because my target was like, you know what? Come up here. I know the sellers are coming in. Let's see how fast this broker can unreel these orders. Now we're just in about 4 standard lots. See how long it takes to get out of these trades? Now, this is how I blew up the account at Trader's Way. I couldn't get out. I'm like, damn, I got to get out. Like today, you got to like 40 seconds to get out of those. You got to get out, right? If you waited on that British pound, you gave back about 100 pips on that smash down. Okay, I must be in losses on something, but I'm still getting out of margin. I'm holding losses from other currency pairs right now. So I'm down $100, but I'm unraveling these orders here. And when I see the margin stop pulling back, I'll come in with limits underneath now. So I'm expecting a pullback here, and then the quieter it gets, the tighter the limits I can run underneath, right? So these are all limits I'm gonna re-add on pullbacks here. So the 1 minute chart, though, don't forget. So we could totally crush through this and blow this out. This only meant something for the moment. Right? It only meant something for that moment. Now it's about let's crush, okay, now maybe buy at the market, right? 1 minute down, buy at the market. Buying a stop. Right? Here, buying a stop, scalps, right? So we'll put some scalps in here. Buy at the market. So now you could kick back. You just got out of 10 standard lots, whatever it is. And now you're just trading a measly 1.5 lots right now. Right, 501 leverage. So here, buy stops, right? See, the spread here is half as good as this. But this thing's volatile. I like when people say, yeah, but it moves a lot. And yeah, but have you seen the fucking spread? Like, have you seen how much it moves? Like, the wicks are vicious on this. Look at this. There's a pussy wick on this thing. Look, they trapped the breakout traders here. So people that are trading the 5 minute breakout, they got trapped. And here we go. Getting a pullback here. So I'm going to put this aggressive order in, which buys maybe a little too tight, too close for comfort there. Okay, we're retesting the where the party started right now. So buy at the market, buying stops. Here, buying stops, buy limits. We could get a vicious pullback now. So every half hour, bottom of the hour is coming. You're on the 1 minute chart. Okay, so see, now you wish you would have stayed in, right? So there was stop buying here and start putting buy stops in on the euro now. Because this one's down, you've got a signal here to buy, but this one's already left the station. Now you put the buy limits in. Now you put the deeper buy limits in because this British pound is just, it could go through the floor still. I don't know. I think they kind of, maybe they overreacted, those people. As you can count on. So there's a million trades here. You could have, with wide enough stops when the whole thing started on the 1 minute and it was dropping. The first bounce there was at the 1 minute, if you had the order bank in, you could have scalped. It looks like in 5 minutes you could have made like 80 pips if you had an order down there. Okay, it looks like a vicious pullback. So I'm going to put buy limits in here and try to capture. Now I'm going to put some buy stops. But the 1 minute chart, you don't have to wait, right? You got a signal all the time. You trade big. Buy stops here. We're coming into my buy limits. Okay, we're going to thread the needle. They call it threading the needle, like this 1 minute closing average is the needle. Okay, so let this guy go through a rally. Now, small targets on this because this thing doesn't move much, and wide targets on this one. I'm going to put the end of the world. So we're back into almost 4 standard lots very quickly. From 1.5, see the margin fluctuate. Trading super big here. This isn't for pennies. These might be 1Ks, and some of them are 6Ks, but it's pretty ridiculous, right? Huge moves. Okay, so looking for another pullback here. I'm going to delete all the objects. Or you could print up, you could save that picture to make sure you place the orders right. Okay, here's the 6K buy stop right on the 1 minute. We have a vacuum. We're down. We got a buy signal here. We're waiting to get filled on these limits. So we're coming back into more of these limits here. And that's it. Every minute there's a trade, right? Every minute there's a trade. Okay, buy stop here. 1 minute went by, buy stops. So here I'm going to put scalpish ones in because it looks like we could be just drifting down. Here, buy stops. Okay. Now I just wait. I think we just got filled on a limit down here, so that was pretty good. Now stop buying here and still come in with limits here. It's about the dollar. So I'm really trading the dollar, and I'm looking through the lens of the pound and the euro. I mean, I'm trading the dollar. I'm actually selling the dollar, right? Okay, so buy stops here. This one stopped buying. It's going up. Let it do its thing. So it did revisit the scene of the crime as we knew it would. So you see why I dumped there, and if the broker was faster, we could have got out. So it's the broker's fault again. They were holding back my profits. So more buy limits here, more buy stops on this one. Small targets. And okay, so big deal. Bottom of the hour's coming. Let's see where we're at the bottom of the hour. I'm buying the pullback on stops here, pending buy stops on these on this mountaintop. So I stopped. I put buy limits here on the British pound. So I'm going to put buy stops on here, and I expect the pound to go through the floor or something here. It looks like. So wait 1 more minute, start buying into the bottom of the hour on the pound here on stops. Autofill as it goes up. Oops. Okay, I guess we got filled in some limits there. Okay, so I'm in like 6 standard lots now. Okay, looking for this thing to go the other way. So this was the buy at the market. You would have scalped out of that by now. You'd be out. Boom, you're out of this, and this is going to get filled on stops and kind of like chase the dollar. Look at the dollar's crushing the pound there. So you had to get out there, see, because we just dipped lower. Now, if we take out this downtrend line on the 1 minute chart, you'll be cashing out up into the floor too. This is where the top became a bottom. Okay, so we're just going to have to wait on that. Bottom of the hour is coming. Let's see what happens. We're getting filled on the trailing buy stops here on the euro. Looks like the pound could still retest some more. So hopefully I'm offsetting. Right, hopefully I'm making money here and losing money here, so it's like a hedge. Look at your margin, look at your equity. It's right around $1,200 equity. And margin's $1,700. Okay, going down new lows here. I'm going to blow out the bottom on the pound, but I'm picking up. I think I got stopped out of something. I'm picking up the limit orders now. So put buy stops on the British pound. Bottom of the hour is coming. Getting right back on the horse here with buy stops if we got stopped on a British pound. Buy at the market because it's down. Let this guy go up a couple buy stops, but mostly here for the scalp. So if you try to put them in too fast, your broker locks you out. You get a depends how good your broker is. So you also test your broker here when you're running a demo to see what does it he feel like, and see the spread here is still double this. So you're really dealing with twice the ATR here in a sense. Okay, buy stops there, and then just sit back and cross your fingers. Hope it goes up. We didn't buy at the bottom of the hour because it was the bottom of the hour. We just bought into this drop down, got in limits. We got into $3,000 of margin, 15 lots, and we have to wait for the retrace now. So at this point I stopped buying. I'm in super heavy 20 lots, and we're just going to let it play out. It's going to scalp out on these early ones, these black lines on the left. Going to go right in, boost. You're out about half of this position by this time. The other one, you know, euro dollar's not as volatile, so you compromised. They're kind of synced up together now. They both dropped. They're both retracing. It looks like the if you're arbitraging, the euros just popped through the 5-minute bar or the last 3 bars, last 3 candles, and it's kind of making a rally there. And the sellers are coming in here because of the top bottom, right? So we have to reject this bottom on the pound right now. Sellers are supposed to come in. If they don't, we engulf and we go rocketing up. Possibly, right? Here, not really a top bottom here, but so these are maximum stretch out fixed. When you're running a 1-minute chart, you kind of have to fix the scale because otherwise the data is going to get away from you. You're letting the MT4 frame it for you, because if you zoom out on the 1 minute, see it looks like this. So it's really how do you frame it? How far do you want to look back? See, here's the top bottom on the 1 minute. If you were nimble, you would have nailed it right there. Here's the other top bottom. Did you expect this to be destroyed if we go up? So here, if you do one layer of zoom out, you can see possibly going to go down again. This is the sellers came in at that top bottom. So you could have got out there. You could reload here on limits. So I'll put limits down here. But for the most part, I'm just going to let it play out. Now we have our first trend line we can draw in the 1 minute. Here, not yet. This could close lower, right? So if this closes through that, it's going to crush that trend line. So this is your first hope of a retrace. Right. A retest here. We'll buy on the retest here. But I'm in so big, I don't want to add. See, I just got stopped out of something. I'm buying on limits here at the retest. So here too. So here I can add. I just got out of something. I got free margin. Put buy stops in here. Let them go lower here. Okay, it's going to try to build into the buying the euro on a drop and buy some more here on stops. So take the objects off there. So we're still going down. This thing's screaming down this stairway to hell. Here's a buy stop. It's a new low. Buy at the market. Buy on limits. All right. So buy. This is a retest of the wick. Buy. And then at the end of the minute here, you stop buying. So you stop buying now and wait. So this one completed the 1 minute pullback. I'm sorry, I'm in the 5 minute chart here. So here we bought, right? We bought this top bottom. So see, we stopped buying here. See, 1 to 5 minutes is a big deal. I went to the 5 to kill a script. So we bought all the way into this thing. This was the bottom of the hour. And We went lower. We took out the low of the day. Go figure. A lot of people bought, so we never hit the round number. So a lot of people just trade that bounce off the round number. Look, it only pierced that by about 4 pips, that round number. Okay, so buy stops here, buy stops here. Maybe it's not too late. It's 1 minute chart. I don't feel like I'm really chasing it. Here was the top bottom on the 1 minute. Here was the top bottom on the way up that rally. It comes back. It's really up and down market. 1 minute, it's just a riot to trade, especially when the market's going off the rails like it is tonight. Okay, I don't know if I'll make any money now. I'm in 20 lots, and let's see what happens. See, just this view compared to this view. Once you go to here, I think once you get too down, so you might as well just go to the 5 minute. But see, the 5 minute, there is no top bottoms. There's just bottoms, right? There's just bottoms. There's no top bottom here. There's no place to get in. Here's the doji just before the fall. You could have bracketed this. So the 1 minute chart is tradable. This is right. This is just flat line. We could have bracketed that whichever way the wind blows. Same thing here. Whichever way the wind blows, it went down, fills limits, comes back up. Here's a doji. Any zigzag, any small zigzags of doji. Okay, we'll stop buying here. This is the 5 minute. The 1 minute, which you can see you got to stop buying in the 1 minute. Your buying minutes are over. You're buying when it's going down. Here, so you're nailing it at the market, right? Let's see how far it gets up. The ladder. You can zoom out here, but see, this is kind of dicey too. This is almost too much data. If you're trading minute by minute, trading by the minute, that's another Joe Ross book called Trading by the Minute. And this is back when, you couldn't auto-execute. So he wrote 3 books, Trading by the Minute, Trading's a Business, and the Ross Hook, I think. The whole pack is $400 I spent. Each book's $150, Joe Ross. It's the olden days. He was trading bar charts. The Ross Hook was just nothing but actually an engulfing pattern. Like, it would hook the previous bar, and then you would just buy it. That was the dumbest fucking thing. For $150 for the book, I'm like, that's your fucking entry? Like, you're trapped, right? It's a trap. Like, if you're not careful, that's going to be a fake out. So we're always confronted, is it a fake out, is it a breakout? But if you're here's a buy right here at the market, right? 1 minute pullback, buy. No questions asked if you're a buyer. Trading by the minute. Here you bought this, right? Right down here you pulled back. Hopefully you bought that, right? So you missed that entry. The 1 minute chart, you've got it's down your buy, right? You missed that entry. But maybe you had these limits like this peppered in, so you pick it up a little bit there. So let's see if we can't make some money. This is 6Ks, so that's a big position there. Only trying to make 10 pips here, though. We still haven't blown out this top. So we could drift up tonight. We could crawl. You can watch the market just drift all the way back up, crawl all the way back up to where it fell out of bed. That happens quite a bit in these markets. Now, for instance, if I put a buy stop 1 pip above on the British pound, I'm overpaying. I mean, I'm really getting screwed, right? I'm really getting trapped on that trade. Whereas if I put it 1 pip above on this, it's not so bad. That's why this is volatile, because the spread's wider. And so these are really market orders. I think I've already got filled on some of those. Okay, so this looks like the last chance to buy here. We have a small ATR on the 5 minutes, and here's a pullback. We're buying this on stops. Oh, it looks like I go through the floor a little bit. Okay, so great place to put in buy stops. And looks like the pound's going to take the lead against the dollar here for a little bit, and when the euro plays catch up, it would start filling those buy stops. Otherwise, it drops to the floor and we don't get filled. The idea of stop entry is not to get into a trade that's not immediately going your way. Of course, we're on the 1 minute chart, and all we have to do is have the pound go up, and then the euro's falling through a hole right now. So the euro's screaming down, and the pound's going up. So we'll hedge them. One against the other here. I'll put the limits in here, catch a falling knife on this currency. And if not, it's going to come up. Now we stop buying. The moment it starts going up, stop buying. Let this possibly blow out the top here, and then this is going to play catch up. This is really a half-hour trade. We bought at the bottom of the hour. It's coming to the top of the hour. 1 minute entry. We bought into this severe sell-off. We put buy stops here just because I don't have, I'm just going to let it engulf that maybe. And I bought on limits, and I could buy at the market right now. So as we're sitting right below in the trap zone here, I could buy at the market. I could put some small target stops in. Now we're just getting filled on the cash outs here. This probably go through the floor now, right? So if that's true, we're going to put limits below to catch a falling knife over here. And when that doesn't happen, at the end of each minute, if it's down, we keep putting buy stops above. Okay, now you stop. As soon as it starts to go up and fill that order, you forget it. Now you could be cashing out of this right now, and hopefully you have. So trading dual currencies is a little bit of an offset, a little bit of hedging, but not precise. Go flat, dump. You still got lingering issues. To avoid the breakout fakeout situation, here we have a breakout, 1 minute pullback. We can get in on stops, or we can buy at the market here when it comes back, or we buy limits because it might crush back in deeper. So never underestimate the pullbacks. They could pull back deeper than you could ever believe. So here I could, with having confirmation, but I'm still buying as it's dropping. So breaks out, pulls back, you can buy at the market or stops, whatever have you. Here's a buy stop. I've already got them stacked up. So I already got in pretty heavy here on the new lows. Now we just have to let this play out. And top of the hour is coming, so 5 minutes after the top of the hour, we could be up or we could be down. So we have to endure that amount of punishment, at least to be in the market long enough to take some money out of it. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. Most of the 4-hour charts are going to update right now. So you'll see 4 hours clean down if you have a broker that closes at 5 p.m. on the 4-hour charts. Like a New York broker, he sees a candle, a bearish candle of almost 300 pips, right? But so we're going to let this thing drift up and see what happens if it drifts up. So we have a possible psycho rally coming here. We cashed out of something, and we're about to cash out. I just bought more on that pullback. So we had breakout and 2 pullbacks into that breakout point, and looking for this to keep going up. So when the market starts to quiet down, we can go to the 5-minute chart. So you have to be able to change time frames based on what's going on. We're expecting this to start climbing back up this hill it walked down on the 5-minute. You probably got divergence on your RSI here on the 5-minute, and you can see RSI clearly diverging on the closing prices. You get an instant rapport because you have the closing to the closings. Candles are just, they're ridiculous, man. Your oscillator, go RSI, and 3-period RSI is what I run. So here's your divergence, right? Kind of jumps out at you. But I don't need to see that. Not anymore. Here was a reversal sell. You kind of just, you could see it right in your mind's eye. This is the more overbought at a lower price. You connect these and you do your price pulse projections, right? But, or you could just say, hey, look, it's down. I just kind of just decided, you know what, I'm just going to figure it's down. Here's the top before bottom on the way down. There's no top bottom here, but you're really looking at the negative reversal there. Andrew Cardwell, Connie Brown. So Brown wrote a book and Cardwell wrote a book, and there was a big drama fight, big legalese fight over there, like a harmonic trader kind of fight. Everybody has to have drama in their life on some level. So I'm looking for a retrace, and I'm in seriously big here. I'm using like half of my account, over half of its margin donated. I got free margin of $7,000. I'm using $4,500 of margin. I think I'll just let the buys that I placed retrace. Let that go through its stuff. See, on the 1 minute, your divergence was like when you were seeing the 5 minute, you were seeing this down here. It's kind of hard to run RSI in the. So you could have you'd know divergence here before the smash down, 4 hour, right? It's pretty tough. Here's a divergence right before the sell off. Here was your sell signal to go short. 3 periods RSI, very clearly seen divergences there. Piece of cake, right? How you fuck that up? You have to wait for that signal though. All right, let's go back to the 5 minutes, and we're waiting for the retrace. We'll take that RSI off. It's kind of distracting. Okay, so I'm this zoomed out. The sellers will be coming in up here again. We could be scalping out right now. But I kind of glued these two together, so the take profit is going to take both currencies. All right, here's the 15-minute view. We went a little bit lower here, so you had to buy the new lows down here. Huge bounce. It's 50 pip grid there. Huge bounce. So you see, volatility-wise, to match that ATR right now, you need to take the euro to this level. That's the difference. So here I can run a very tight buy stops. Get in here. We're here, it's crazy, right? Right there, 5 p.m. All right, let's let it retrace, see what happens. So we're getting the psycho retrace here, and hopefully I'll be cashing out along the way, because I got to get rid of some of this margin here. Looking at the 5 minute chart, we can kind of see where we're going. Possibly blow out the top of this, which in the big picture is nothing, right? It's only this. We first got to get past this wick, and then, like, in the big picture, right, this is like just a retest of that top. The 15-minute view on the euro, so we're really selling we're short the dollar here really hard. Here comes the bottom of the hour. I'm out of like half of my margin, and because the targets are so tight here and I didn't move them, I'll probably be out of this trade maybe in 1 minute. But this guy's bringing up the rear, and there's a lot of take profits still to come over here. The same 70 pip take profit, I rewrote that last key. I got 50 pips in the scripts that I posted, but this is, I did set that to 70 to take advantage of this possible psycho retrace. And I just, it's a perfect fit over here, right? Because if it engulfs this whole thing, if you're looking at the 4 hour world, you're looking for this to come all the way back into the floor here. And same thing here. This is coming back into the floor right now. And the take profits are right back into that on the 4 hour. So it'd be an ideal situation to scalp out of here. This guy scalps out of there. And then just come back and start the whole thing all over again with the buy limits. Okay, so we got taken out of that pound on profits here. I could put in buy limits, I suppose. And here you could buy the pullbacks, right? Still waiting for the euro dollar to make it back up some more. So there's plenty to go here, and I'm still in like, I don't know, like 8 lots, something like that. So we could buy this on pullbacks, not too close to the market. And even here, we could buy on pullbacks if we want to be in more margin, if we think it's going to keep going up. Probably not in a straight line, although, you know, stranger things have happened. Maybe stocks are going to start selling off now. S&P 100 hit an all-time high, start dumping the dollar. This is a complete, you know, role reversal, washout. A big down move like that is not the beginning of a downtrend. The British pound is in an uptrend. That's a pullback. So in the big picture, right, it's just a pullback. So you could have scalped this whole wick today, buying 100 pips deep, even if you didn't, or yeah, buying 100 pips deep here, even if you didn't realize the sell-off there. And look at this stair step. This reminds me of anybody see The Price is Right with the guy that's climbing up? He's yodeling, and then ba-bam. So you either traded the fill of that vacuum, or you bought all the way down, and you really bought heavy below this to trade that 100 pip scalp, and there you go. There's what it looks like on the daily. A classic smash and fill. Still coming roaring back here on the on here, but we're not buying anymore. We're letting everything play out, and that's the name of that tune. Almost out of my positions, only down to 5 lots now. If we go flat here, we'll get back to pretty much just, you know, equity-wise, just spinning our wheels. But I just want to show what it would be like to throw all those orders in and try to catch a falling knife. If we let this thing ride out, we could drift up, and maybe we will get filled on these, and then we can buy these pullbacks here. Possibly you could dump right now. You could take your money, go flat, get back in on limits, or it really depends what your you know, which trades you want to take. So that's just an unanswerable question for, you know, how much you risk, how much you make. There's so much opportunity in these markets, it's just mind-boggling. I do love buying the plunge, though. I get a thrill out of that, putting the limits down there. You gotta have fun somehow trading this stuff. Yeah, the daily chart here. Right, another big sell-off, another buying opportunity. It's in an uptrend. Zoom out one level. There's the big picture, dailies. You can scalp that wick on the daily. Didn't even have to be there for that. If you get the order placement right, don't have to be there for that trade. You just place your buy limits in, starting here. You're out of the trade already. You're above water if you started buying your worst order there, right? Same thing here. This isn't as violent. Here's the same story. You're buying these new limits down here, and you're maybe out of that trade already. And maybe you get a hold here because you're just like, oh, I'm going to hit 113, and then people could say, oh yeah, look he was right, I hit 113. So see how stupid it is? Doesn't matter whether you buy or sell. The trend doesn't matter, because if the trend mattered and you were trying to buy, and look at this pullback, right? So trends are bullshit. You just need a trade plan, and you need a pip plan, really, a stop plan, and take profit plan. That's it. So that's scalping. I'm going to put the same link to the hotkeys I ran on this whole thing. I ran all the hotkeys, and the sell keys aren't a mirror image of the buy keys, but I'll put the link there again. And if you want the line chart on top of price, you're going to have to choose objects. Go to properties. See, chart on foreground butchers up the chart on background. Let the indicator sit on top of the price.